Welcome to our channel, where we will be talking all about security and how to protect your data. Let's dive into today's video. What is an Android flaw? Let's learn on how it can be exploited by hackers to gain access to sensitive information on a device. The Android flaw is a vulnerability in the Android operating system that can be exploited by hackers to gain access to sensitive information on a device. Hackers can exploit this vulnerability by crafting a malicious app that contains code that can exploit the flaw, such as a zero-day exploit. Once the user installs the malicious app, the code can run in the background without the user's knowledge, giving the hacker access to sensitive information such as passwords, financial data, or even control of the device itself. The Android flaw can be particularly dangerous because it can be exploited without the user's knowledge, making it difficult for users to protect themselves. To address this issue, it's important for users to keep their devices up to date with the latest security patches and to be cautious when downloading apps from unknown sources. Additionally, users should consider using security software that can detect and block potential threats before they can do harm. Warning from Google and CISA about the vulnerability and provide examples of how it has been exploited in the past. Recently, Google and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, issued a warning about a new Android vulnerability that could be exploited by hackers. This vulnerability was discovered after researchers observed Chinese hackers using a zero-day exploit to target Android devices. The zero-day exploit allowed hackers to gain access to Android devices without the need for any user interaction, such as downloading a malicious app. Instead, hackers could send a specially crafted message that would automatically execute the exploit, giving them access to sensitive information on the device. The specific details of the exploit have not been disclosed, but it is believed to be a highly sophisticated attack that requires a deep understanding of Android's operating system. In the past, similar vulnerabilities have been exploited by hackers to launch attacks such as ransomware, data theft, and identity theft. For example, in 2019, a vulnerability known as Strandhog was exploited by hackers to steal login credentials from Android users. This vulnerability allowed hackers to overlay malicious apps on top of legitimate ones, tricking users into entering their login information into the wrong app. In another example, in 2020, a vulnerability known as Cerberus was used by hackers to target Android devices and steal sensitive information such as banking credentials and credit card information. These recent warnings from Google and CISA highlight the importance of staying vigilant and taking proactive measures to protect your Android device from potential cyber attacks. Its potential impact of a zero-day exploit on a user's device, including the risk of data theft, ransomware attacks, and identity theft. A zero-day exploit can have a severe impact on a user's device as it can give a hacker access to sensitive information without the user's knowledge or consent. Once a hacker gains access to a device using a zero-day exploit, they can potentially steal data, launch ransomware attacks, and commit identity theft. Data theft is a common risk associated with zero-day exploits. Hackers can gain access to sensitive information such as login credentials, banking details, and personal information that can be used for identity theft or sold on the dark web. Ransomware attacks are another potential risk associated with zero-day exploits. Once a hacker gains access to a device, they can install malicious software that encrypts the user's files, making them inaccessible until a ransom is paid. Ransomware attacks can be devastating for individuals and businesses alike, as they can result in lost productivity, data loss, and financial losses. Identity theft is yet another potential risk associated with zero-day exploits. Once a hacker gains access to a user's personal information, they can use it to open credit accounts, file fraudulent tax returns, and commit other types of fraud that can ruin a victim's credit and financial standing. Overall, the potential impact of a zero-day exploit on a user's device is significant, and it is essential for users to take proactive measures to protect their devices from potential cyber attacks. This includes keeping their software up to date, using security software, and being vigilant about phishing scams and other forms of social engineering. Here are some tips that users can follow to protect themselves from zero-day exploits. 1. Keep your device up to date. One of the easiest and most effective ways to protect your device is to ensure that it is always up to date with the latest security patches. Software updates often contain security fixes that can address known vulnerabilities, including zero-day exploits. 2. Be cautious when downloading apps. When downloading apps, it is important to only download from trusted sources, such as the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Avoid downloading apps from unknown or untrusted sources, as they may contain malware or other security threats. 3. Use security software. Install and use reputable security software that can detect and block potential threats. Security software can scan apps for malware, alert you to potential threats, and provide additional protection for your device. 4. Use strong passwords. Use strong passwords that are difficult to guess and do not reuse passwords across multiple accounts. Consider using a password manager to generate and store complex passwords securely. 5. Be cautious of phishing scams. Phishing scams can be used to trick users into providing sensitive information, such as login credentials or banking details. Be cautious of emails or text messages that ask for personal information, and never click on links or download attachments from unknown sources. Staying informed about the latest cybersecurity threats is crucial in today's digital age where technology is constantly evolving. Cybercriminals are always finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities and gain access to sensitive information. Without proper awareness and education, users may fall victim to these attacks, leading to devastating consequences such as data theft, financial loss, and identity theft. It's important to take proactive measures to protect your devices and data from cyber threats. This includes keeping your devices up to date with the latest security patches, being cautious when downloading apps and opening emails, using strong passwords, and using security software to detect and block potential threats. By staying informed about the latest threats and taking proactive measures to protect your devices and data, you can greatly reduce the risk of falling victim to a cyber attack. It's important to remember that cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility, and taking action to protect yourself not only benefits you, but also helps to create a safer online environment for everyone.